Pretty sure I didn't have game 1. In game 2, I do perfectly against his removal. Like really perfectly.
Alright.
Even so that I can throw away the spell.
So who would you like to see in the finals against you?
I would like to see Tom Vandevelde because despite 5 cards, 70 cards of my deck are his.
So it's because he's your sponsor, you want to see him in the final? Okay.
I also know Tom longer than I know Niels, so...
But I'm gonna have to ask you to leave the booth though, because we'll be talking about deck contents as well.
No problem.
Ik ken de decklijsten eigenlijk wel redelijk goed.
Yeah. In the meantime, I know them as well.
Yeah, no, but I tested against both these decks.
Yes, we had a testing session on Thursday. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah, and I was there, even though I wasn't planning on playing. I just wanted to provide a control matchup, since that is actually a matchup that is rather skill intensive to play against sometimes with some decks, and is not a deck that's actually played a lot, so not necessarily a lot of opportunity to test against the deck.
Okay, so another thing we'll do is in the couple of minutes downtime between this semi-final and the finals, we will make a quick metagame count of the kind of decks that are played. There are just 26 of them, to give you guys an idea what is played here when winning is on the line and people are playing what they think is the best deck. But we're off to the races. Both players starting with a gain land and Tom developing with a Seeker of the Way. So his deck is built with I think 10 lands that come into play tapped, and Tom's way of handling that problem is playing almost only 2 and 4
Actually
drops.
13. 13 lands that come into play tapped.
So he's playing only 2 and 4 drops that need to arrive on curve to tackle that issue.
The Team Wrecking Ball token.
Again. The black token you see in play is a Team Wrecking Ball token. It's the team that Tom founded. You can see the same logo on his shirt.
So
that's a spell shrivel on a removal spell, I think, or on a Hordling Outburst.
Yeah. So should we ever make a video of just this match? We should call it the Brothers' War. This is basically Urza. Alright, so what
So an interesting dynamic here. Tom, the way he built his deck is he has quite a lot of 2 and 4 drops, and he needs to gradually build up, where Niels van der Velde again has the option of sitting back and then building up to a huge goblin bushwhacker turn.
Bushwhacker. Reckless Bushwhacker
turn. So it's hard to say who has inevitability in this matchup. Tom has bigger cards to take over the late game.
But Niels can come with a lot more surprise damage than Tom.
Yeah. So it's a pretty dynamic matchup, and Tom's deck is very flexible in the lines it can take to develop the game.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
A Gearcrafter for Niels.
Yeah.
Just developing some creatures here.
Niels' deck is a sort of token/dash hybrid deck that uses Ambuscade Shaman and Hasty Topters from Topter Engineer to come out with quite a lot of surprise damage.
Yeah. And also playing the full 4 Outnumber in the deck. And Outnumber is an all-star in his deck because almost every creature that enters is a creature that enters with another token, making the Outnumbers very quickly very powerful. As you saw here, an easy way to clean up a Seeker's Way and develop your board with Gira por Gearcrafter and the Outnumber. Is that the Cola gun in his hand? I think it is. I think Niels has the Cola gun Dragon's Fury in hand.
Yeah,
ready for next turn. He goes for the Ambuscade Shaman this turn.
So next turn he can attack for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, no, okay.
So no Ambuscade Shaman, but can still attack for a lot of damage if he dashes Cola gun in there. If it actually is Cola gun. Yeah, there's the 5th mana. Also, an interesting story about Niels' deck is actually, since they are brothers, they tested all together, but they didn't build their decks together. They each built decks or ideas for decks and then compared notes. And they both basically came up with the same deck, which is what Niels is playing now. That's the black-red deck, with almost no real differences. Tom making the version a little more I beat control, whereas Niels is playing a little bit more creature removal. And they both believe that the black-red deck would be one of the best decks in the meta game today.
Yeah. So the fact that he's sitting in the semis right now sort of proves that point.
Exactly.
Though the other deck he's been known to play, the
Banned Flyers deck,
would
also very
probably
strong.
Also have him sitting here at this point. It's a good methodological player who just picks good decks to play. Like picking the deck you play is a skill on his own now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the second spell shrivel means
disregard.
That no. Oh,
it's a complete disregard.
Yeah. So the Ulamog's Nullifier is pretty relevant for Tom's deck and a little harder to
There's
do.
the Bushwhacker though. He has the Nullifier to counter it, which is very big. Because without the Nullifier, this would have been a very strong attack.
7 damage less.
Yeah.
2, 4, 7. Yeah, that would have been a pretty big deal.
It's more than 7 because the Nullifier can block.
It's even less than 7.
Yeah.
So
I don't think Niels can even attack now.
No, it's a 2/3 the Nullifier.
Yeah, 2/3 Flyer Flash. So very good card, the Oligmos Nullifier. Especially if you can actually counter something with it as well. And a Murderous Cut. That is very rough. So no more Ambuscade Shaman, no more Bushwhacker.
Tom already has the reload.
Yeah.
And, multiple 2-drops, read the bones, and he's still at 20 life.
Yeah, I don't.
So I think at this point Niels needs to. Well, he tried to go for the big combo turn just there, but I think he'll have to start building up the same way again. Is Tom playing sweepers now?
Tom is not playing any sweepers.
Okay. So
he is playing a Flanked Tendrils in the sideboard. But nothing main. Oh no, actually,
he has the main.
Three Flanked Tendrils main. Yeah, so
Tom is very well set up to beat this match.
Especially now that Niels has no more early game tempo left to thrive on. So he'll have to hope for a crazy turn with dash something, Surge Bushwhacker, and maybe even a Cola gun. Pia and Kieran is a good start. Especially with Tom not having any
the Cola gun
tendrils in
also
hand.
gives +1/+0, right?
Yeah, Cola gun says if a dragon attacks, +1/+0 to all creatures.
Yeah.
So, if he actually has it, and it resolves...
The Nullifier is actually a 2-of at this point. He used to play 3, but he started realizing how hard it is to actually have cards to digest.
Yep. And also, I believe it takes a bit more toll on the mana.
But he's already very heavy black, so... Actually, his blue is the smallest splash.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. So, Free Blade added to the board for Tom.
So that was a Reef Soul.
Yeah, there's a Reef Soul on Pia and Kieran as well.
So
and Read the Bones.
Tom cleaning house and developing.
I think that's another Nullifier?
No, that's a Thunderclap with.
Oh yeah, Thunderclap. Yeah. which is pretty good at this board.
Again, a 2/3 flyer flash.
Yeah.
That's another evolving wilds as well.
I think he also has a tapped land.
Okay. So he played 2 non-creature spells. This is a 4/4 lifelinker.
Yeah. So probably also gonna send the free blade in there. Actually,
it's pretty nice for Tom to be able to go on the offensive already.
Yeah. That's the way he's gonna win the game from this point. Is just beating away Niels and removing.
Ooh, I don't think Niels realizes this is a 4/4.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's big. That is very big. The question is, does Tom realize it? Yeah,
Tom
he does.
knows.
Yeah.
Ow.
Then that's very rough.
I think this is game.
Yeah, that. Not having that secret die is probably gonna cost Niels the game here.
Oh wow. Yeah. Well, so far for brotherly love.
Yep, there we go.
And he scoops him up.
Yep, that's game 1 here.
Okay.
Though, honestly, even if he
was in
it
a
was
very
a 3/3,
rough
it was a
spot,
very
yeah.
rough spot, yeah. Oh. Yeah, Niels was in a very rough spot to come back from at all, actually. So 1-0 for Tom. All right, so let's see what these guys what they have with their sideboard here.
So for Niels, we have 3 Boiling Earths that do nothing, 4 Impact Tremors that do very little, 2 Sprinting Warbroods.
The impact tremors aren't bad. Tom's build that I tested against played the impact tremors main, which because it is very good against control, like really good.
Yeah.
But I think you don't want to be playing that against the mid-range deck here. Yeah, I don't think you want to bring in the impact tremors here, since it's wasting 2 mana for not really developing your board. So I don't think you want to be playing it here.
Yeah, the Sprinting Warbrute I also don't really like. The 3 Duresses, those are awesome. That's what they're here for.
Yeah.
And I think their complete disregards come in as well for Niels.
I don't know. What do you want to take out though? Like, do you want to? I think you might want to switch Fiery Impulse with Duress.
Yeah.
Since Fiery Impulse can relatively easily get outclassed here by Tom's creatures. But I don't think you have this. I don't think you have the cards to take out to bring in the disregards.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very tight deck as well.
Yeah.
I don't like the Garafer Geografters that much, and Outnumber is blow-outable.
Yeah.
Where you think it's gonna do a certain amount of damage and then it doesn't.
Yeah, true.
It's these kind of high-pressure decisions that you can avoid. Also, there's very few situations where Outnumber will do something that Fiery Impulse can't.
Also true. Well, at least in this matchup, that's
I
true.
think Complete Disregard is better than Outnumber in this matchup.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
So, what's Tom bringing in?
Tom has access to Felidar Cups and Pacifism that I don't think he wants to bring in either. The one Reef Soul in the sideboard is definitely coming in, because this is the matchup to bring in that Reef Soul. The same with the 4th Flaying Tendrils. You really want to bring it in because Niels, well, the Flaying Tendrils might not be perfect actually. Depends on how much you expect Niels to be dashing things in, opposed to just hard casting them. Because the Flaying Tendrils is of course only good if you're actually hard casting your creatures. There's also a lot of counter magic available for Tom, mostly for non-creature spells, so I don't really think they're coming in. I think Tom is probably gonna stick to the removal.
Yeah. Okay, in the meantime we've had a little bit of camera issues again, but it looks like it's fixing itself. It has to do with a network connection that gets a bit iffy from time to time here. So sorry for that, but that's something that we're gonna avoid with the new setup, because we're gonna have direct connections with everything. So no more depending on wireless networks.
Yeah. No. Alright, so these players are shuffling up for game 2. Niels almost certainly going to choose to play. I can't imagine why you would choose to draw with that deck.
With any deck. Do you ever
Control Mirror!
Yeah, okay, that's the only one.
Control Mirror, man. You totally want to do that in the Control Mirror. Alright, so the shuffling is taking a bit.
Okay, so opening 7s. Let's hope everybody gets a nice hand and we have a nice and interactive game here.
Absolutely, that would be ideal. Niels is going down to 6 already. Tom has a little bit of a harder choice. I see a Tendrils and a complete disregard.
See 2, 3 lands?
Yeah, looks like it. There's at least one Evolving Wilds among them.
Yeah, it's an Evolving Wilds. Complete disregard.
Tom decided to keep.
Yeah. I think every land he has comes into play tap though.
Yeah, very possibly. It's a bit of a hassle, of a hazard with the deck, since you're playing 13 land enters battlefield tapped versus 12 that don't. So I think when you're playing a deck like this, you're just accepting that you're gonna have to play your 3-drops on turn 4, your turn 3 removal on turn 4.
Yeah. So like I said before already, Tom's deck is equipped to handle this. Like he doesn't have 3-drops. He wants to go 2-drop, 2-drop, 4-drop, giving you room for he comes into play tapped land on turn 1 and 3. So the same with his removal. He's playing the full complement of Reef Soul, I think, and again that falls. Two main.
He's playing 2 Reef Souls and the 4 disregards. I think disregard, the fact that it's instant speed is just too good to pass up.
He's playing 2 Anticipates though, as an additional card he can play in that 2 slot.
Yeah, and he also has the Flash Flyers that make you want to have complete disregard over Reef Soul.
The Nullifiers.
The Nullifiers and the Thunderclap Wyverns.
Yes. Suck it.
Yes. Alright, so Niels going to 6, Tom staying at 7. I love it.
So we just got a little demonstration of some of the pre-release goodies. They look pretty cool. It's like the little walking spider lantern.
I've already claimed one for when pre-release is over to be mine. Because of course I have. I've walked out of here before with a Hedron and with a Garrixax, so no one's surprised at this point. Alright, we're off with the turn 1 DRS. It's gonna give us a good look at Tom's hand. That's a Dragon Lord Ojutai, a Flame Tendrils, a complete disregard, and the Thunderclap Wyvern, and indeed 3 lands, an Evolving Wilds and 2 planes. The DRS takes the Flaying Tendrils.
That's the only legal target?
No, there was a complete disregard.
Really?
Yes.
I thought I saw Flaying Tendrils and Ojutai in 4 lands.
This, I think, is a complete disregard.
Yeah.
Yep. So, yeah, Niels mulligan to 5. So, being able to open with the duress after mulligan to 5 is pretty good. Being able to at least sculpt your opponent's hand to what little you have to work with.
But still, starting game turn 2 and having 3 cards left. That's rough.
That is rough, especially seeing that your opponent has a removal spell for basically anything you can play, and a flash flyer that buffs his other flyers that he can play, and then follow it up with Dragonlord Ujitai.
Yeah. Depending on what Niels has in his hand, I also don't really agree with the turn 1 duress, because he can wait until turn 2 or 3 and see probably a lot more relevant cards.
Yeah, absolutely, very possible. So the top engineer is going to get taken care of by the complete disregard we mentioned here. Also, dice flies into play. And then there's a renowned Topan Freeblade. Both players at 19 now.
So, again,
another top engineer. It's the field.
Yeah. So do remember that Niels has his back against the wall. If he loses one more game, he's out of this tournament.
And he's on a mulligan to 5, so he must be really feeling like there's almost nothing he can do to come back. But his deck is absolutely capable of coming back here. But that Seeker of the Way is going to try its very best to not allow that to happen. Tom missing his 4th land, it would seem.
Just keeping it fair for his brother, you know. He also doesn't have double black for playing Tendrils.
Yep, of which there's already one in the graveyard.
Well, he has 4, or access to 4.
He has access to 4, but I don't know if you want to actually have 4 because of sorcery speed.
Still, I think you need it.
Yeah, true. There's a dashed Reckless Imp followed by an outnumber taking care of the Secret of the Way.
Yeah. Niels is very dash happy, I already noticed. I've seen him cast stuff with dash a couple of times where he really did have the option to go for the regular hard cast. You go get something to drink.
It's not gonna help.
Okay.
It's a cold.
Yeah.
I'm recovering from a cold. You probably can hear it in my voice. Tom also not having the blue to start to work towards a Dragonlord Ujitai or a Flash Flyer.
Yeah, this is turning into a bit of an awkward game.
Yeah, an awkward game where both players are really not getting the resources they should be having. Just like our camera, which doesn't have the resources it should be having.
Yeah. So we'll make sure to have a break before the finals, just to reboot everything and make sure that if there are hardware issues somewhere, that at least we don't run into those again.
Yeah. This is obviously outside of our hand. There's nothing we can do to make this go by faster or not have it happen, since we would require other equipment for it, which we don't have at this point. Yeah, it looks to be recovering here. Or maybe it isn't. So, from what I can see,
okay,
Tom
we're back
has
on.
gotten an extra land.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're not. Wait, are we? Is Tom just in the tank or is the screen freezing? Oh yeah,
No,
Tom's just in the tank. Okay. Alright, so Tom got his 4th land. He gives him access to a couple extra spells.
He does have double black now.
There's
for
the Flaying Tendrils.
Yeah.
Takes care of 2 Topter tokens.
Yeah,
Notably, the Engineer survives.
Yeah, he's under quite a bit of pressure there. He's down to 10 already. Niels has the Gyro for Grafter, so that's another attack for 2.
Actually, it's for 1.
For 2.
Oh yeah, the Engineer can attack.
It does attack from time to time.
Right. I'm just so used to it not attacking. Alright, Tom has a Tranquil Cove, so he finally has his access to blue next turn. So,
yeah, Tom only has one source in his entire deck, one untapped blue source.
Yeah.
All the rest comes into play.
Yeah. So
Whoa, and here double reckless
double dash.
So that's an attack for 8.
Yeah, and I don't think Tom has interaction. I think he's just gonna have to take it.
So does this mean?
Yeah, that's
Niels takes the game, mulliganing to 5 on the play.
Yeah.
That's
as I said, the deck can do crazy things from a low amount of cards.
Okay. So we're just gonna reboot real quickly while these guys are sideboarding. So see you guys back in a couple of minutes.